There is a lot to talk about right now. Um, so, if you guys are watching this right now, I just want you guys to know that I just finished watching the Teofimo Lopez versus George Kambosos uh, fight just now. And if you notice, I'm kind of like having a hard time talking because trying to comprehend what just took place is kind of like difficult for me right now because when you feel so strongly about a fight, like you're very sure about what's going to happen, and then it doesn't go like that at all. You kind of start to question like what you know about boxing in general, and I was very shocked with the outcome of this fight for many reasons. Just because I very much underestimated George Kambosos' boxing ability, and I overestimated Teofimo Lopez's determination for this going into this fight. So what we saw in the, I believe it was the first round. We saw Teofimo come in like guns blazing, head hunting, and you know, he got the short end of the stick in terms of those exchanges, and he got put down in the first round. That was already like messed up my night. I was like, wow, that really just happened. No matter what happened, even if Teofimo had knocked George Kambosos out in the second round, I still would have been like, wow, he really just did that to the undisputed lightweight champion of the world. Um, so there are a lot of things to talk about in terms of how this happened, why this happened. Um, there was a lot of bad blood going into this matchup. Um, Talking about Teofimo really planned on getting George Kambosos out of there, stopping him early in the fight. At the press conferences, any interview you saw of him, Teofimo Lopez was saying it's not going to last long. I'm going to get him out of here. It's going to be a short night. I don't get paid overtime. Saying like all that stuff like that. But obviously that did not happen. George Kambosos literally outboxed him. It's what I saw. Obviously, I didn't get the chance to rewatch the fight because I wanted to get this video out for you guys as soon as possible. It's probably going to be up like literally right after the fight, like an hour, maybe an hour at most after the fight. But I really can't comprehend what I just watched because he did a great job. George Kambosos kind of used his own a little spin off of the shoulder roll, and he moved around really well. Teofimo Lopez in the post fight interview said he felt weight drained. They're killing him, stuff like that. But like towards the like, I personally had it like a draw, and I could have seen it like any other way. I could have seen a split decision for Teofimo, or I could have seen it for George Kambosos, which is why I'm not very upset at the judges or anything. I don't think they're like trying to rob him or anything, but I hear like from what Teofimo said in uh, the post fight interview, like inside the ring, he said like, I know how these people work. The ref knows that I won the fight, but like it wasn't a good look in general. Like even if he knocked him out late, either way, it wouldn't have made a difference. But I think this kind of takes Teofimo out of the equation for the time being, unless a rematch does happen, which I don't think it will, because judging from that post-fight interview, it seems like Teofimo wants to move up to 140, but like without the belt and ending on that note, there's going to be a lot of critics talking about like questioning his performance and stuff like that, which is like honestly like they have the right to as spectators because like it was not a good look at all. But he did end up knocking George Kambosos down, with a tough right hand right behind his ear. George lost balance, and he was knocked down. But I just really do think, from what I saw, obviously, I've only watched the fight just now live. So like, if you guys are getting the chance to rewatch it and stuff, I understand if you guys have different opinions because this is just what based off of what I saw, and obviously the commentators like always play a role. I do think that there's an element of like DAZN trying to build up Devin Haney because like Devin Haney is really like DAZN, and I guess Ryan Garcia too, but like Eddie Hearn does seem a little bit biased towards Devin Haney, especially when they had that Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney had that exchange. He definitely seems like he's on Devin's side, so I could see where like there that element of like politics and whatnot comes into the role of boxing, despite Teofimo fighting in his hometown. Like he's from Brooklyn. Uh, but yeah, like that was really like a crazy fight. A lot of action. Respect to both guys. Despite the outcome, like I don't think Teofimo should be ashamed. I do think like his inactivity did play a role, and I do think that he was too overconfident. You got to respect your opponent. Like I don't care if you get in there with a kid that's like 10 inch, like a foot shorter than you, like, and he's never boxed a day in your life. If this is a fight that's being set up and you're both training, I don't care. You got to respect that guy, from the first round all the way to the 12th round if it goes that long. Teofimo showed no respect. There was no determination in his fight. I think that he was much more determined for the fight against Lomachenko than he was in this fight. He seems like he let his father like get involved, and they were like just really enjoying the fruits of their labor from the Lomachenko win, which was a real like legitimate win. But we don't know if that was the best version of Lomachenko. Obviously, not trying to take away anything from that, take away anything from Teofimo for that win. I'm just saying, like, we heard the rumors about the injury, so we don't know if that's true or not. It could not be true, but if it is, it could mess up with his mind, because like then he started to underestimate an opponent like George Kambosos, who was undefeated coming into this fight. You still gotta respect the sport. Teofimo didn't do that because like he should have trained. He looked very sluggish throughout the rounds. He took rounds off, and he'd fight in spurts. Like I could understand if you're like an old man, but you're in your prime. You just became undisputed champion of the world. You can't go into a fight with half a gas tank. You got to leave it all out there. There should be no questions asked. But I think he did his best. He obviously did his best. It was just his conditioning didn't seem too good. He didn't have a lot left in the tank for any of the rounds. He seemed to punch himself out early. Especially like after that first round, I was like, this is a bad idea. He was winging his shots. I think any boxer would be able to see those punches coming, because he was really like winding up. You can't show your wind up. You got to shorten your shots when you're fighting a guy like George Kambosos. You can't fight a guy like George Kambosos on the outside, because he was really slick and his jab was like perfectly timed. He tagged Teofimo with his jab all the time. He caught him with a like counter left hooks. And he threw some uppercuts that snapped his head back bad and hurt him. Not to mention the cuts that he received. I don't really know. Obviously, I didn't get to see exactly what caused all those cuts, like the swelling and everything. That big cut over his left eye, that was crazy. It was huge and deep. But nonetheless, respect to George Kambosos. They're saying like biggest win in Australian boxing history, which is like maybe debatable. Maybe that Pacquiao and Jeff Horn fight, if you count that. I guess that was a robbery, in my opinion, but close fight. So, but yeah, respect to George Kambosos. I don't know what's going to happen now. Now everything's kind of just like messed up for the lightweight division. It's not messed up, obviously, but there's just sort of say there's a new sheriff in town. And in terms of Teofimo Lopez, like he said, he does have to go back to the drawing board and figure something out. Does he have the right to fight Josh Taylor anymore? He did beat Lomachenko, so like, does he get that rematch? But at the same time, he wants to move up in weight, so he has a lot of decisions to make. But this kind of really changed my perspective on the lightweight division. It's going to be the way I gauge like all of them, like Ryan Garcia, George Kambosos, Luke Campbell, like these guys, Devin Haney, Linares, like all these guys that fought each other recently. It's kind of hard to gauge how different and similar they are now, because of this fight and all these fights we're seeing. They're getting dropped. These stars that are being so like hyped up and are the like new like four kings they're talking about, but like they're getting dropped. They're getting exposed a little bit, and it's not a good look. It's giving a lot of skepticism like about their performances, which is never a good look in boxing, because it's all about your reputation. They're always going to talk about your flaws, your last performances, and I think Teofimo showed that he can be hurt. He can run out of gas quickly. He does sometimes underestimate his opponent, comes in overconfident. You gotta respect your opponent. That was my biggest thing. I think if he respected his opponent and like really trained for this fight, like he did respect his opponent, he would have won this fight clearly. And I think some people are gonna say that he did win this fight, which is I can't be mad at, because it was a close fight. They both knocked each other down, and the rounds were like there were some swing rounds where The judges could have given it to either fighter, and I wouldn't be mad about it. So yeah, this is just my immediate reaction, guys. So I just wanted to like come on here, let you guys know what I thought. This is just off the dome. Like I'm not saying that I'm exactly right, but I just wanted to talk about the fight a little bit because it was such a crazy like turn of events, and I must admit I was wrong with my prediction. I said this fight would not go past like 5 or 6 rounds. I thought Teofimo would get him out of there early, but I didn't expect him to like out the first round just start winging shots. I expected him to uh, use his jab. He didn't use his jab whatsoever. Like against Lomachenko, usually against the south when an orthodox fights a southpaw, the jab is hard to land, but he was still flicking it out there. Here against an orthodox from the orthodox stance, he didn't throw the jab at all. He wasn't working. He was just like waiting for that one big knockout chop. But you got to set it up. That's what boxing is. That has to be your mindset going into the fight. You can't just be thinking knockout the whole time. That's how you get caught, and that's what happened. He got caught in the first, I believe, the first round. But like, I think that messed up Teofimo's mindset for the rest of the fight. He said, oh God, this guy like hurt me for even a split second, even though it was a flash knockdown. Like he gave him respect, and unlike Lomachenko, George Kambosos didn't give Teofimo any respect, and he did his thing. So congratulations to George Kambosos, new undisputed, I guess you could say that. So yeah, respect to him for the win. So we'll see what he does next. We'll see what Teofimo does next, and we'll see where the future of the lightweight division is headed. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that fight. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below like what you thought about the fight, what you agree with, what you don't agree with, and how you scored it. Because I want to know how you guys scored. I had a draw, but I'm not mad about this decision because I feel like Kambosos really did a good job. He controlled a lot of the action in the ring as well. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.